We believe that cannabis is a plant that grows from earth naturally. And the hubris that the federal government has shown in making a Schedule I drug while also holding patents on it is one of those things where we find it somewhat laughable. Although you will push for people to have access to going to the polls and voting, you're not pushing ballot access. This is a huge oppression for people like the third parties. We have, I think, 20% Democrats, 20% Republicans in the state of Georgia. That leaves 60% of people in Georgia unrepresented by ballot access laws that both of them support. Brian, in 2020, on April 2nd, you locked down Georgia, threatening peaceful people with force and coercion. You called people in Georgia non-essential, and it killed millions of jobs. You bent the knee to Big Pharma and pushed a vaccine that was untested on people, and it has killed people. They have lost their loved ones. You've allowed bureaucracy to invade our businesses. And then you had the audacity to brag about record tax revenue. You want to say sorry to anybody?
So is that a question, or?
That is a question. Do you want to say sorry to anybody? You didn't have the power to lock down businesses, and you signed the executive order on April 2nd. I don't support the fact that you haven't ended qualified immunity. I don't support the fact that you haven't ended civil asset forfeiture. I don't support the fact that you haven't ended the drug war. You haven't ended nonviolent crime. You haven't ended cash bail. You haven't ended no-knock raids. We need to get government out of education. We need to allow parents to seek out the best education for their kids. And we also believe that they have the responsibility to do so. The fact that we have property tax in America has got to be one of the most un-American things I've ever heard of. There are a lot of us at homeschool because we don't believe in the government school system, and we are still fleeced every year to the tune of thousands and thousands of dollars to pay for a broken school system that we don't agree with. The state of Georgia needs a governor who understands econ. The $200 trillion of unfunded liability in this country, as a veteran, understanding that we have a veterans health care system that is in shambles. They treat you as a liability, and they will throw pills at you every chance they get. They won't actually address your health. There is no way on earth we're going to expand that to the rest of the 99% of the country. It's a fairy tale. What we need to do is get back to basics, Austrian economics, where we get rid of this cancer that has invaded every transaction that we have through a fiat currency system. Libertarians don't believe in any gun laws. We believe that you know how to best protect you and your property. And the biggest mass murderer in history is government. It's not private citizens. Most private citizens, like I said before, go throughout their day without doing any harm to anybody. Our message to the government is simple. It's time to leave peaceful people alone. If you believe the government is so damn essential,
we have to go. I'm sorry.
Stop robbing us at the point of the gun and compete.
That concludes our debate.
Georgia.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
This crusade, this war on terrorism, is going to take a while.
We came, we saw, he died.
We tortured some folks.
Yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate. Only the unloved hate. The unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery. Fight for liberty.
And the pod is parked. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 36 of Dave versus Goliath. It's a special evening. That's right. It's election night special. In fact, what are you even doing here? It's the most important election of your lifetime, and it's happening right now, and you're fucking jerking off on the internet. Incredible. But I do appreciate you guys being here. It's gonna be a fun one. We got some guests with us tonight, and I'm excited about it. But before we get to that, if you're watching this, make sure you can share the links for your boy on the social media stuff. That would be a big help. YouTube, subscribe, like all that good stuff. And please leave some nice reviews on Spotify and the old Apple podcast. Guys, We're back, and we're going to tackle it tonight, the most important election of our lifetime. But before we do that, I got to bring in my dude who's been with me since episode 2. Let's do it. My main man, Dan. What's up, dog? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? Hey, I love that intro.
Bro, Shane fucking Hazel, right?
He said everything.
Everything. I'm telling you. Oh, my God. We're definitely going to get to Shane Hazel because that is that dude. But yeah, I figured that was a good way to kick it off, man.
Yeah.
So thanks for being here tonight, man. Missed you. Everything good?
Yeah, everything's great.
That's what's up. Did you perform your civic duty today? Get out there and vote fucking hard?
Begrudgingly.
Yeah. Straight Green Party down ticket?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Walking by all the people trying to hand you... You know what I mean? Like.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be glad when it's over. I am addicted to this crap, but I will be glad when it's over, for sure.
I know, me too. I have to look at it from a different point of view now because it's just you can't take it seriously. And then once you stop taking all that bullshit seriously, then it becomes more of a game and it's more fun.
That's the George Carlin play, right? Like once you realize that you're in like a clown show, like maybe you can enjoy some of it, like as it's all coming down in front of you, you know?
You're watching the WWE, so.
Exactly, bro. So I let some friends know that we were going to be chatting tonight and hanging out. So mostly me, Caucus, full disclosure, in case opinions line up that way. But we're going to bring them in, dude. First up, we got my man Kyle Matovcik from the In Liberty and Health podcast. Bro, did I say that right?
Yes.
It's Kyle, not Kile, right?
Yeah, actually, no. You said the last name correct, but you said the first name wrong.
All right, cool. Just checking. Thanks, man. Glad that you're here, bro. Thanks for taking me up on the invite. Yeah. I know he told us this might happen. He's in southwestern PA, but he can still hear us, so we'll let him unfreeze.
That's usually my job, to freeze and get booted off.
Right.
My God. Yeah, of course, as soon as you introduced me. But yeah, dude, stoked to be here. And it's good to talk to you guys. And yeah, looking forward to just kind of talking about the clown world that we're living in. And I just want to say, as you were speaking about, kind of clown world, I did do my civic duty and I committed voter fraud for John Fetterman. Just because I want to see him filibuster. That's I've been saying that. I told all my coworkers that. If he gets into the Senate and filibusters, my life will be complete. So whatever I have to do.
John Fetterman, an unlikely hero amongst the libertarian community, I'm noticing. We're gonna have to get into that too, because I don't see the appeal. But let's go. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. But up next, we got my dude. This guy's changing the game. You don't sleep on him, because I'm telling you, this guy is racking him up. Views on LPD's social media, getting 5 million, 6 million hits on these videos. It's really something incredible. It's all I wanted when I joined the LPD, Libertarian Party of Delaware, was just have a fucking on-point social media. And this guy did it. It's Dylan Griffith. What's up, bro?
What's going on, Dave? You hear me all right, man?
I can hear you.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Amy will be getting on here in just a sec. She's putting the kid to bed.
So, yeah, as he alluded to, Amy is his wife. This is my favorite power couple in the Liberty movement.
Chair.
These guys are really crushing it together. Amy's the vice chair of Libertarian Party of Delaware. And, yeah, they're crushing it together. Actually, dude, I hear a little bit of echo. Do you think we work that out?
Yeah, I'll get it sorted out, man. It's all good.
Thank you, bro. No biggie. So let's see. We got a bunch of comments already. This is cool. They must be here for Kyle and Dylan, bro. But we'll take it.
I doubt that.
Let's see. Let's see. Shannon is in the building with the flames. Good to see you. Thanks, Shannon. Murder Beam is here too. Wrote in baked potato against Melissa Minor Brown. It's our local rep here. Good call, man. That's probably a better choice. This is fun. Break the bell. It's my dude. Smotz brother. I wrote in John Fetterman for Iowa because I wanted his mind to melt again. Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's great. So Dylan, did you perform your civic duty, bro? Did you go out and vote today?
Yeah. I should have the echo looking a little bit better than it was. So I didn't have any headphones in. I just have to pop one in Amy's ear. Yeah, went out, did the voting thing. We had our our one candidate that I was able to vote for, and then a tremendous number of horrible, awful people that I wish did not exist. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I did it too. We had a candidate. Yeah, we ran against Lisa Blunt Rochester and the Republican challenger there for U.S. Congress. He got my vote too, and then a bunch of Republicans. And I'm not scared to admit it because in Delaware, the power structure is just so blue that anything would be an improvement from the cesspool, which it is.
It's my dilemma too, though. But maybe Kyle, you might know this because you're in Pennsylvania as well. I don't understand how it works up here too. Is it only statewide races that libertarians can be on? Do you know what I mean? Like nothing like locally. It's like Shane Hazel was talking about Georgia being like that too. Like they'll allow it up there, like if it's for governor or for senator or something like that. But of course they don't allow it. My theory would be that they don't want anything grassroots growing. You know what I mean? If they can keep you off the ballot on a local level, then how are you supposed to?
Yeah, so there's actually a lot of local candidates elected here in Pennsylvania. I don't know what it's looking like going forward. I know last year there was a whole ton that got elected. We actually had a few mayors as well. But on a statewide level, we had Matt Hackenberg for governor, and then Eric Gerhardt for Senate. So those are the only two candidates I know off the top of my head. I don't know about like state house or anything like that. I don't think we.
That's what I'm saying. They were the only two on the ballot, and then everything else below that.
Oh, right.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. I thought you were referring to like little smaller stuff, but yeah.
No. Okay. Hey, do what you can.
Yeah.
Hey guys, just as I got the little Foursquare thing set up really nicely, our buddy Dan Smotz has joined the stream just a little late, fashionably late. I love it, dude. How's it going, man?
Not much. Or good. Or I don't know. Democracy's ending. I'm at a loss for words and Fettermaning out already. But hey, what are we doing?
We're hanging in there, man. Good to see you. We're talking about the most important election of our lifetime.
Nice. They always
We haven't gotten to much yet, but we started the video out with a little montage of Shane Hazel debating Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp. And if it's cool with you guys, I'd like to start with him because it's the best example of a libertarian candidate that I can think of. I think he's done the best. And there's a couple. Jeremy Kaufman's up there. He's got some good ads working for him. He's really based. But I think Shane really, for me, is like if I'm going to just point to one person who's doing it right, that's probably the guy. Anybody else agree with that or disagree with that?
If only Shane had like hired a better ad guy, he might have done better.
Seriously.
Just saying.
With the best in the biz was pretty busy this go around.
Was quite busy. I'm kind of glad he didn't actually because I was swamped. I just finished everything on like Thursday and I've done almost nothing since then. It's been beautiful.
Yeah, I want to talk more about that because I want to know who you think. I mean, you've done so many ads for people, not even just this year, but like who stands out to you? Like to me, it's Shane, but who do you think's really crushing it right now, dude?
I mean, Shane's obviously crushing it, and Jeremy's crushing it in a completely different way. And I don't think what Jeremy's doing would work if Shane tried it, and I don't think what Shane's doing would work if Jeremy tried it. So, like, can't even really compare the two. I love them both in completely different ways. So,
and they both should or should not drop out, or we should apply nuance to each and every situation like that. And maybe
the burning question that'll make everybody very, very upset.
Oh my god!
Are we really debating whether or not they should drop out?
No, I'm not. In fact, no, they should not. And we're gonna get to Dave Smith and the Arizona race, but that was kind of the one I was alluding to. But Shane, he's that dude. Anybody else want to say that he's not pulling the number one spot right now? Is it Jeremy? It could be. I'm looking for who we should point to in future to go, look how they did it. Do that again. Replicate that.
The only part that was kind of unfortunate with Shane's debate is that everybody seemed to hop on him about his answer about China buying all the agricultural land down in Georgia. And really, that's just essentially a CIA talking point or a deep state talking point, that they own like 0.5% of all the land. But his answer was good for like a libertarian audience, but for like the average person, they're not going to quite really understand about like the intricacies of cryptocurrency. While I think his point was great, like I said, I just don't think it really transferred to the average person. So I saw a lot of people knocking him for that. But other than that, his debate performance was like 10 out of 10. I mean, they've been calling it, the woodshed debate?
It was great. Yeah, it's what I want, pretty much.
His closing argument was a little bit long, but other than that, I mean.
Yeah, when they totally shut him off there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all the time we have. Yeah, give him the closing spot.
No, I was
definitely
going to say.
It's definitely Shane.
I was going to say, like,
guy.
As far as what we should do moving forward, it's like we definitely need more Jeremy Kauffmans. We need more trolls out there trolling the system, but we also need more serious candidates like Shane that are just playing the game and just taking them behind the woodshed.
And he is serious, but his sign, which is great, has like a Bitcoin sign, like a gun, and a weed leaf. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty bad. And he's like, you look at a picture, he's like a family man. You know what I mean? Homesteading. But that, I don't know, it's pretty awesome. It's not why he's awesome, but yeah, it's pretty great.
They're both the guys for different reasons, though. Like, if you were to ask about one libertarian candidate, I'd say both of them, because they're running different kinds of campaigns, right? Kaufman's running an activist campaign.
Yeah.
Kaufman is not really in a position where he is most likely to win. He's a different kind of candidate. He's, entertaining, and he does that job really well. And like almost all libertarian candidates should fall into one of those two categories. They should be just an absolute badass murderer, like Shane, right? Somebody that can just get out there and can intellectually slay every single person that either side of the old party's put there. And then you got Kaufman, who is an entertainer first and foremost, and he does a fantastic job at that. And then outside of those two candidates, there's like every other libertarian that's running, with a few exceptions, who have no business running any campaign.
So we've established the top tier of libertarian candidates.
Oh shit, that reminds me. The thing I wanted to say though is like a guy that we need to talk about is Bill Schultz. Now he's running in a nonpartisan race. Is in Kenton County, Kentucky. Super cool guy. Bill Schultz was just endorsed by Thomas Massey this morning.
I saw that.
Yeah,
that's huge.
And the thing with Bill is he's like as much of a down-to-earth guy as you could possibly ever get. He did not want to tell anyone he was endorsed by Thomas freaking Massey, because it was like, I just don't want to make it about me, man. Mm-hmm. I just feel kind of lame promoting myself. I'm like, well, when you get endorsed by Thomas Massey, maybe it's time to promote yourself, bro.
Yeah, maybe when you're running for public office, you have to promote yourself. No offense, Bill. That's really fucking amazing.
But the thing that's cool, he's going to win. He is almost 100% going to win. He's going to win his race, and he's going to be a libertarian endorsed by Thomas Massey. And
are we, as LP members, comfortable accepting Republican endorsements? Let's get to that.
If you're not, get the fuck out.
Seriously, you know what I mean? But that's, again, I'm just playing with the fucking Dave Smith thing. No, you can't. They're giving him shit for endorsing a Republican. Dan, did you hear about this story? Have you been following this?
You talking about Blake Masters?
Blake Masters and Dave Smith.
That Dan.
Just okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, we got two Dans in the.
You're gonna have to.
Oh shit.
Sorry, Dan.
Dan Smotz is buried in the inside baseball. I know he knows all about it.
That's all good. Go ahead.
But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you were familiar with that, just so if I'm alluding to it,
Yeah, no, I got you.
Okay, cool. But let's talk about the Free Staters, man, because those guys are doing it, and Jeremy Kauffman is that dude. Let's check this out real quick.
Picture this. Innocent people in the Middle East. They're having dinner. A bomb is dropped on their house, and they're all killed. What's the problem with this? It's being done by white men. I am Jeremy Kauffman, the Chief Diversity Officer at Halliburton and candidate for United States Senate. It is time to diversify the murderous military-industrial complex. We need to make the nukes gay. And that's why I'm running for office. Like my fellow Democrats and Republicans, I will support every war. I will support stealing billions of dollars from Americans to kill innocent people. but we are gonna make it so gay. It will go down in the history books. We will say never have so many genders and so many races killed innocent people. Let's bomb Yemen, but let's make sure a rainbow of skin colors are dropping those bombs. These are gonna be the gayest transist murders the United States has ever performed. That's what I stand for as the Chief Diversity Officer at Halliburton, and that's what I'll do once elected to the United States Senate. I'm Jeremy Kauffman, and I'm gay for this message. I'm serious.
So good. That shit is so fucking good. I probably played it like 4 times on this show. Dan Smotz, just fantastic work. You probably should have put that one out later because you busted your wad in the beginning with that one.
Hey, we still had retarded to drop.
I'm just kidding. I loaded that one up too, buddy, because they're all so great. But that is just probably the best libertarian political ad I think I've ever seen. And I just wanted to...
I've told the story before, but Jeremy Kauffman, when I sent him the first cut, he was like, I don't want to use the word gay as a pejorative in the title. And I was like, no, we're doing it. It's happening. And I take a little bit of pride in secretly making Jeremy Kauffman worse behind the scenes. I'm the shadow government of trolls and libertarians.
You are the shadow government, man. Don't sleep on this guy. You are the power? That's your shit, isn't it?
I did that too, yes.
Mm-hmm, right?
The one rule about shadow government is nobody talks about me.
I'm going to fucking talk about it. I'm going to expose you. Yeah, with your commercials.
I appreciate my position where I don't get heat either. Like, I don't get the praise, but I also don't get the conflict. I just sit back here and collect the paycheck and make the fun shit, so no complaints.
It is really cool, and it is really appreciated.
I don't know if that's true. I think the Delaware Classical Liberal Caucus has been pretty hard on you, man.
Have they?
They come.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Do they?
They hate you.
Who are these people?
They're the worst.
Who are these
Whoever
people?
they are. Whoever they are, they're terrible.
Yeah.
They've got nothing but bad things to say about you.
Yeah, they seem like feds.
They hate Smotz.
I think that's all. Is that walking L distributor on Twitter, the one that's always getting ratioed on every single tweet?
Yeah, they certainly do get ratioed a lot. I don't know. Somebody, whoever it is that's behind this, probably has a persecution fetish.
Subtle. Does Amy know?
Yeah, man.
I mean, do you think? Never mind.
So, what do you think about his chances? What's going on in New Hampshire, man? I know that they're trying to hit 4%. That's their magic number, right? If they can do that, then they can get ballot access. Is he looking? I know it's early, but is that something that is in the cards?
I'll be honest, man. I've been so entrenched in making these ads and everything. I haven't even had time to pay attention to what's actually going on with any of these elections. That's why when you invited me on tonight, I was like, yes, because then I don't have to pretend like I know what I'm talking about if it's your show. But
fantastic.
Yeah, I have no idea. I think last I knew, somebody said they were predicting like just 2.5 to 3, which is, I mean, it's again too early to tell, but it's not looking probable. But you never know.
That would really, I mean, you know, I'm a libertarian, so I'm used to losing, but that would suck because if that campaign couldn't hit that benchmark, it's like, damn, we really have a lot of work to do because it was fucking great. You know what I mean? And if that,
what we need is a combination of a Shane Hazel and a Jeremy Kauffman and a Dave Smith. I mean, that's
a lot to roll into one. Is that Mike Termott? Is that all those guys rolled into one? Is that what he?
I'm saying Dave Smith has got the ability to spiel the spiel and also be funny. Like, his message comes first, and then he's got the funny as well. I think we could do a lot with that campaign. So I'm really looking forward to it if that happens, hypothetically. But yeah, we do need more people that are, I don't know, just funny and interesting. Jeremy Kaufman, it's the first time we've really tried something like that, so it was a good test run, and I look forward to hopefully, encouraging more people to think outside the box in the future.
Yeah, dude, we need you. Don't go anywhere.
I'm good.
I just heard he lost his the library suit with the SEC, right? That's pretty awful. That's not looking good. Yeah. What are they trying to do? Library uses like tokens that were being treated like a currency, or they wanted. I don't really get. That's not my world, but they were
It's
coming
not mine
down on
either.
them.
He's explained it to me multiple times, and you've explained it better than I could. So yes.
Okay. Yeah. Either way, they're not
Nerd
classifying
shit.
it the way that they want it to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's super nerdy. That stuff.
Yeah.
I can't even follow it. This is
It's
somebody
tough.
who has the Dungeon Master's Guide sitting on the table across from me. This shit is far too fucking nerdy for me, man. I can't keep track of the crypto stuff. It's super weird. It's like a religion. It has like its own icons and like special phrases and things. People know stuff that maybe you can't see with your own eyes, but they're just totally aware of its existence and sure that it's there and works the way they think it works. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an auto mechanic, so I kind of have to deal with that all day. But yeah, I still can't get down with crypto. I haven't been convinced. I'm sure there's a use for it, and somebody out there could do it. But it doesn't quite connect for me either.
Yo, there is a use for it. I just Googled it. Google U.S. patent 060606. Telling you, stop watching this fucking podcast and Google that shit, because it's fucking cryptocurrency plugged into your biometric data, son, so they can fucking social credit score your ass, fucking tell you when you can't have a cheeseburger or drive outside of town in your Tesla car. So look out for that.
That's
I've been saying
because that's on the ballot this year, baby. Yeah. Oh wait, we have somebody.
The one world government. It seems like that'd be the way they're going to go, but time will tell.
Right. I'm telling you, yeah, you're gonna get crypto. It's just gonna be like the Apple version of crypto.
Man,
But hold up, we got. It looks like the president of the United States of America is waiting to come into the call. Pause.
Rarefied air.
Did I make
Mr.
it for the thing? Were you?
The guy. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Mr. President, will you think you're going to be running in 2024? Or are you going to go ahead and call a peace out? Let Kamala take over. What do you think?
Well, I'm gonna be cycling my way over. Hey,
He is exceptionally horny tonight.
you have any of them kids around to sniff?
Oh man. Oh geez. No, not tonight, buddy. Maybe take a breather, a sniffer.
Trying to find one all day I can get my hands on, but this little slippy. It's hard.
Oh man. This
Oh,
might be
hairy
hurting your
legs.
re-election shots.
Yeah. Well, gotta do what I can. It's not like these mail-in ballots can sign themselves.
Oh man. Well, you got my vote. I'll tell you that much. Just run it off the cliff. See what happens.
Excellent.
I'm in
Y'all
too.
voting
Hey.
for Biden, right? Riding with Biden tonight?
Yeah, how would you feel about Fetterman taking Kamala's place in 2024?
That guy speaks so well. I've never seen someone who speaks that good.
Little drooly. He's got a little drool, but other than that, he's good.
We'll spittle.
Just needs a little more ice cream.
Ice cream and
How
Adderall.
you boys doing tonight?
Doing great, man. Appreciate you being here.
Hey, just doing what I can for my country.
Who are you pulling for in this election cycle?
Oh, I think Hillary. I'm always polling for her,
Fourth time's a charm. This should do it.
Yeah, she's gonna win this time.
President, right?
I hope, God, that would just be so great. He's all hopped up on adrenochrome. You're right, Murder Beam.
What is everybody going to do when Donald Trump gets back in the White House tomorrow after the insurrection happens and democracy is thwarted?
Hopefully they let him back
January
on
6th,
Twitter.
2.
Yeah, he's finally take control of the military. Do what he was going to do all along. He's been in control this whole time, of course, but he's going to activate them this time for real.
Root out the pedophiles drinking the adrenochrome in their brains.
Yep.
Guys, Trump's won a verse. What are you talking about?
Little George. It does. George Bush, Biden, different store, same groceries. You're gonna get the same stuff there. Patriot Act all the way.
If something crazy did happen and Trump was like reinstalled somehow by magic tomorrow, wouldn't that be the best way for them to start a civil war? If like, I don't trust the guy. I think he's part of the whole plan. Yeah, I put him back in. I think they're gonna.
It would be the most entertaining way to start a civil war, for sure.
Absolutely,
yes. I mean, if nothing else, I got to tell you, I'm super disappointed he's not back on Twitter yet. I feel like something is missing. I got my hopes up, and now what? There's no Trump. There's no Alex Jones.
Yeah.
There isn't even Babylon Bee, which is the whole reason why Elon Musk was buying Twitter to begin with.
I thought they were back on Twitter.
Fruit.
Oh, are they back?
I saw the account was there. I hadn't seen any new tweets, but
the account's always been there. They were left with
okay.
that delete your tweet or you can't come back thing. So their account's always been active this whole time. They just haven't been able to tweet because they didn't delete. That was nice.
Gotcha.
If you don't delete, you cannot tweet.
I'm ready for it. Like we were talking about earlier, that's the clown show, man. So they'll reinstall him for the great triggering. We'll have to wait a couple years while they fundraise billions of dollars, fund their operation. But
how beautiful would it have been if Elon Musk put Donald Trump back on Twitter like last night, like right before all this shit? That would have been amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll probably do it tomorrow, right? Like, oh, you're done with that? Cool. Well, guess what we're doing now? Like every fucking day from then to 2000.
I supported Ron DeSanctimonious. Yes. He's
that was so cringe, dude. Trump's usually pretty quick, and the good with the zingers. Ron Sanctimonious. It was so dumb. I'm like, oh, dude.
He also said, I like Elon, but I'm going to stay on Truth Social.
That's very
Elon lets me back on.
Yeah.
As long as I'm still banned from Twitter, I'm going to remain off of Twitter.
Right. I didn't get to Twitter until he was already gone. So, yeah, I'm really excited about that triumphant return. And I want my Twitter account back, too. Please.
Which one?
The original one. I don't want any of the 4 or 5 that I started after that one that they keep taking from me. Except the one I have right now. Please don't take that from me. But the original one would be great. That one's the one that Tom Woods and Dave Smith follow. And yeah, it's hard crawling back up there every time. Like a check down, They get you. But we got a couple. You guys and Kyle are both from PA, so yeah, you guys will get Fetterman or Oz. Is that different store, same groceries, or would you rather have the silver-tongued corporate spokesman or the guy who can't speak, who's also a socialist? Or do you vote for the or do you vote for the Libertarian candidate? Sorry, I forgot that was a fucking option. You could obviously do that.
Unfortunately, the three of them really aren't that far off on the issues, as much as I hate to say that. Our Senate candidate, Eric, is just mildly better than Oz on foreign policy stuff. But I mean, he literally sounds like Candace Owens when he's talking about foreign policy. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth, unfortunately. Oz has called for transitioning children, gun control, getting tough on China, and then fighting Iran for Israel. And of course, Fetterman says our number one enemy is China, and he's just a geriatric outpatient. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I can't get down with any of them. So I know I said earlier I committed voter fraud for Fetterman, but no, I just had to tuck my tail on this one. I couldn't support any of them.
I am very pissed off that you completely wasted a perfectly good vote for John Fetterman.
No, did you hear me? I committed voter fraud.
For the sake of all everything that we do here, all of our shows, John Fetterman, Senate, yes, please, by all means.
Right. But isn't that is just, I mean, it's fun for the clown show, but it is just the next phase of how much they don't give a fuck who they parade up there to do the thing, as long as they now they don't even have to parrot the lines. They just got to go, yeah, good, Roe v. Wade, yeah. What?
But the more they do it, the more people are they got to wake up at some point. Everybody has a breaking point, a tipping point in this. And John Fetterman winning would be such a tipping point, I think, for so many people.
I stand for fracking.
Oh, yeah.
Hello,
Roe v. Wade
good night.
is demolished.
Hello, good night.
It is really something to watch, man. It's sad.
Do we have
Joe Biden, you're ever going to lose your energy to bob your head over there? I'm amazed by this constant head bobbing. It's never slowed down yet.
I know. I'll tell you what.
The good stuff. You know, Hunter, I sent him to Ukraine. He keeps sending me the best shit. Oh.
Biden, big booger sugar family. I can tell you that right now. The Biden.
Nazis have the best blow. You got to get it from Ukraine, man, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No,
you guys
are
awake
screwed.
Biden.
Yeah, you guys are screwed in Pennsylvania. Oz is no better than Fetterman on the issues. I mean, I don't know. I would vote for Gerhardt just for the sake of putting down the Libertarian, because you really don't have a win there. You know what I mean? You just throw. Joe Biden's gone. You just throw your number. But Oz,
I don't think
he was like a COVID guy early on too. You know, you put masks on kids, listen to the doctors. Even early on, vaccinate your kids. Like if a vaccine comes out safe for kids, fuck that guy, man. You can't do that shit. You want to experiment on kids? Dr. Oz should be jailed for fucking life.
Absolute deal breaker.
Absolutely.
You're right, dude.
No, but all the Republicans fall in line. We're supposed to believe that they're so against the deep state and all this stuff, but then Trump endorses Oz, and he's been shilling for the vaccine. When he was literally 15 minutes away from where I work here in Greensburg, he brought out the Johnson & Johnson CEO shilling him out, and it was silent. You could hear a pin drop. People were still going to support Trump, and they're still going to support fucking Oz. Like, it's a joke.
Yep. There's no brain matter to be found in a lot of those people there. So you brought up Stacey Abrams earlier, Dave. What do you guys think about Stacey Abrams? You like her? She's really motivating. Is she awesome? No. So one of my favorite things that I saw on social media here, I was like, because I get on Reddit and stuff super early for the LPD stuff, like 4:30, so that I can get the posts out before they're super popular on Twitter. And one of the things that I noticed a couple of days ago was this like weird, obvious Fed attempt at making Stacey Abrams a relatable human. And there was this post, it was intended to seem like it was from a normal human being. And it said, can't describe how hyped I am for this TikTok of Stacey Abrams in Target. And we're supposed to believe first and foremost that this is a normal human being that was like super passionate about Stacey Abrams, which has never happened because she's got the weirdest, pointiest nose. She's basically a bird. I don't even know if she qualifies as a human, but very strange thing, obvious Fed attempt. And it's this video of Stacey Abrams just shopping through Target, and there's like 30,000 likes on this thing. And I guess we're supposed to believe that Stacey Abrams is a motivating human being that people really relate to, but I'm pretty sure she's just.
Well, they said that about Biden first. Like, we're supposed to take him for being the highest voted president of all time. And remember all those fascinatingly, inspirational quotes? I just want to see, like, the inspirational poster of Biden and any quote that anybody's ever been inspired by from the man. Even if you set the dementia aside, he's never said anything interesting.
Getting fired up, though. That's the new thing. Everything about Biden, you're getting fired up. You got to get fired up. He's going to fire you up. All these Democratic candidates are going to fire up. Stacey Abrams is obviously just an attempt at wrapping up all of their favorite protected classes into one human being, right? She's a disgustingly fat, dying woman.
Brave.
Who happens to be their right, exactly. Who happens to be their minority select of the day.
She's also one of the World Economic Forum's created people, and as you said, she's she's motivated herself to rule. Because she keeps trying to do it. And, she was an election denier when she lost in 2018. I remember that, before it was cool to deny elections and when it was acceptable to. I don't know if she ever conceded to that, but yeah, she's the worst, man. And, if the good people of Georgia aren't smart enough to elect Shane Hazel, she probably has a good shot. But yeah, she's awful.
Well, do you think there are actually people there that find her relatable? Does anybody think that there's anybody that they believe they're supposed to, and they do? I get that, but does anybody? They're like,
she's the Star Trek ambassador to Earth. Of course, she's relatable. She's the most relatable. How could you not relate to a fat black woman? I mean, she's faced an uphill battle her entire life against diabetes and racism.
Hey, now John Fetterman's battling a stroke, so I guess all the Democrats got their struggles that they have to have
in the oppression Olympics. It's neck and neck there.
Shane brought up an interesting point. I think he said there would have a Republican majority there in Georgia, though, if Stacey Abrams got elected. So obviously we don't want her to win. I mean, she's literally just like a, your run-of-the-mill victim Democrat, but who knows what she'd be able to do. And I don't think the good old boys down there are really, swinging for her.
No. And, if you're looking at it from an accelerationist point of view, too, she'd probably be good for that.
Yes.
I don't think the
she
Georgia
bad
good old
enough,
boys
though?
won't take. She's
Like,
real bad. I mean, really bad on guns. Really
Right.
bad
Somebody
on
like
Green New Deal
Fetterman
stuff.
is like obviously, if Fetterman got in there, we'd have an instant, view of how bad that looks because of the optics of it all and him not being able to function. But with her, it's like, yeah, they want a Democrat, and she's a Democrat. She's going to do what they say for the talk points or whatever. I don't know if she would be like, if I was in Pennsylvania, I'd vote for Fetterman just because there's no option that's more interesting. But in Georgia, obviously, even if Shane Hazel wasn't there, I wouldn't vote for Stacey Abrams for accelerationist points because she would just maintain the status quo, which is getting more, extreme. But I don't think she would speed things up enough to be worth the sacrifice.
Fair point.
Yeah, good call, man. I don't think. Yeah, I wouldn't either. But we just might have to deal with that.
It wouldn't be funny.
circumstance.
It wouldn't be funny. That's all I'm saying.
No. No. You guys followed the race in Utah at all? This is the one. I'm fascinated with this, and I think that libertarians, we were too busy talking about Dave Smith and Blake Masters to realize that we have a race in Utah with Mike Lee, who's the incumbent Republican senator, who's like top 3 senators, right? As far as liberty's concerned. We could debate that. Maybe, I don't know, top 5. He's pretty good, though, right?
I'm with you, but man, he fucking sucks. So it really
Who, Mike
sucks.
Lee?
It really sucks that he is top, because he is. But he still blows.
I mean, he's in that, like, he ran with Rand Paul and Massey.
No, I'm with you, man. I got it. Like, in
So
terms
yeah,
of
but
what
that's
is
who we're dealing
available
with.
to us.
Like,
Yeah.
if Rand Paul is the best senator, he's still light years away from Ron Paul. But that's
I know he's been a big advocate for ending the war in Yemen. Now, when it comes to everything else, I'm absolutely clueless. So he kind of won me over with that. But like I said, beyond that, I don't really know him that well.
Well, in Utah, the Democratic Party didn't even try to run a candidate, so they left it to the independent Evan McMullin, the former CIA agent, currently backed by and I don't know if this is official or unofficial, but Yang Gang's Forward Party, which is like a conglomerate of ex-deep state Republican light kind of rhinos and, centrist liberals, corporatists alike, where they can all come into the middle where nobody stands for shit. Neither right, not left, just forward. Like absolutely saying nothing while they run these shill campaigns. But I just thought that was interesting. The Democrat Party was like, no, we can't touch this guy. Maybe we'll try a CIA agent who runs as an independent. I just think that's like, it's pretty bold, I mean, he's running on it. Like, oh, when I signed up for the CIA to serve my country, never thought I would serve my country here. It's like, bro, pretty sure you've been serving the CIA the whole time, like just the whole time. And by saying that, no one should trust anything you've said your entire life. Right.
So Evan McMullin is a CIA guy?
Yes.
Really? I don't know much about the guy. I remember some libertarians lightly stumping for him back in one of the campaigns or something, and I was like, okay, I'm not sure. But I never dug into him. I didn't know he was especially not gloating about being a CIA.
Yeah, he's very proud of it. Like, that's his thing. Served my country doing that, and now I'm ready to serve.
At least he's honest.
Actually, I think it's part of the trend of the empire wearing itself on its sleeve, like just exposing itself. Like, I think that's a new kind of, like, I mean, the CIA has a podcast now. Have you seen that? They have a fucking they got a really lame logo that looks like they probably paid $100,000 for it.
Dylan's like, yeah, I'm on it like every Tuesday.
I mean, I know the guys. Like,
they're great guys putting that together. Yeah, they got to work on their logo, but they're getting it together over there at the CIA.
Good guys. Good guys. Really interested in national security. Don't worry.
Yeah, right. But they're, it's not your grandpa's CIA. Like, they're just trying to, like, hey, fellow citizens. It's just weird. I don't feel good about it. I liked when they hid in the shadows a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's part of the left's turn toward being pro-national security, though, right? So it's okay for them to have a pod. It would not have been when the CIA was just a Republican thing, because they still kind of played the game a little bit and pretended like they were supposed to be
that they cared about civil liberties.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But like the left, man, the way that it goes, they've got the media. So if the CIA is now part of the Democratic Party's things they celebrate, of course they have a podcast. I'm surprised they don't have, like, I don't know, toys in the Walmart and stuff. Your favorite CIA agent.
Sure. I just got a time hop on my Facebook. It's my favorite Facebook feature is the time hop. It'll give you something like from that day, from like whatever, 4 years ago. And I got the time hop from 4 years ago. Election day was like, I forget what the percentage was, but it was like a quarter of all of the incoming Democratic leadership was all from like national defense, like deep state jobs, which was just like, man, all right. Like when you start to think, 2020 comes and you got to like run this operation during 2020. Yeah, you got to like get your people in there to like get the game ready and
saturate the market.
Bro, exactly. Yeah, we got these big goals, so we're gonna have to get our people in there. But anyway, yeah, fuck the CIA. We got to get. Can we get a libertarian candidate in Utah? Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? That'd be great. I would definitely be stumping for that guy. Don't drop out. But yeah, let's talk about the Dave Smith, Mark Victor, Blake Masters.
Piss everyone off.
You know what? I don't care if anybody's done talking about this or if they. But everybody, I didn't think that this was going to be such a big deal. And I was
going to say, I don't understand why people give a shit.
Right, dude, yeah, you and I talked about this a little bit. I kind of like made a joke when, if people don't know, Dave Smith endorsed a Republican after the Libertarian candidate in Arizona kind of flubbed a public debate. We'll talk more about that. But he definitely messed it up. And there's a Misesian student of the Austrian school who's been endorsed by Ron Paul, who's running on the Republican ticket in Arizona against an awful Democrat. And that guy got the endorsement of Dave Smith, who happens to be working very closely with the Mises Caucus and the Libertarian Party. So party loyalists and party types and even some Mises Caucus people were upset that Dave endorsed a guy who wasn't in the Libertarian Party. Which I just thought that this was so weird because we've been doing this for such a while now that I figured we all were kind of on the same page as far as what we were going to use the Libertarian Party for. So just a quick refresher here.
We are in the business of running people for public office in order to change public policy to do nothing more or less than set the world free in our lifetime.
The greatest nation in mankind's history is on a suicide mission. And we can try to save it. We can try to increase the liberty movement. We can try to bring more people on board.
You get people to take baby steps towards you. You don't get them to eat the whole elephant all at once. That's not how politics works.
They say I have some purity test. I think the Libertarian nominee should be a Libertarian.
Eat the whole elephant at once? Have you guys ever fucking heard that? It's the weirdest expression I've ever heard in my life. I think he just made that up.
You eat it one bite. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, or something like that? I don't know.
All right. Well, you guys can keep that one.
It's a boomer saying. You should know. Yeah. Basically, what Dave Smith did sounds like what somebody like Nick Sarwark, who is currently running as a Democrat, I'm pretty sure, would endorse. Mm-hmm. Like, we take baby steps toward libertarianism, and if it's very obvious that Mark Victor isn't going to win, even before he had the whole debate debacle, I don't know. Like, I don't know that much about Blake Masters, so I'm not like endorsing him personally. But
Sure.
If there was a Republican running in Illinois who had ever read any Mises or Rothbard, I'd be like, okay, well, you have a chance of winning, and you also at least know the thing. So let's maybe give that a shot. Like, I think it's stupid to condemn like Dave for, again, I don't know that much about Masters, but for Dave to like put his weight behind, and he also didn't put his weight behind Masters officially until after the whole debate issue, which I completely understand. Like, you got to be like, separate yourself a little bit from that whatever that was, and support the guy who he's a Ron Paul endorsed Misesian Trumpian piece of something. I don't know. Like I don't want to trust Blake Masters personally if he's like that hardcore sucking Trump, but I'm open to it.
Yeah, I'm open to it. I mean, at this stage in the game, I've asked, and he's never served before, but if Blake Masters could be a top 5 senator, right? And he's, again, I'm not saying it's everything, but the guy's got the Ron Paul endorsement. Like, that's pretty huge. It's not a rubber stamp to just whatever, but that's pretty huge.
It was like Tulsi Gabbard versus like some shitty Republican, like Tulsi Gabbard running on the Dem ticket and some shitty ass Republican, and then some libertarian running in the middle that nobody's ever heard of. I'd probably vote for Tulsi Gabbard too. Like,
dude,
go with
yeah,
the person who's
I
win
would
and
too.
get us closer to liberty.
This is a trend that I've noticed, man, and no, I absolutely agree with you. I as a libertarian, lowercase L libertarian, registered myself as a Democrat so that I could just vote for her in the primary, right? Because it was the right thing to do, because she's the anti-war candidate. But this is something I'm noticing, man, that the more radical you are is probably the more, like, you're what's the number one reason somebody should be a libertarian? It's to be anti-war, right? That's what it still should be. It still should be the number one reason to do everything. So yeah, that's at the forefront of everything. If Tulsi was going to be on, I wouldn't have supported the libertarian candidate.
Right.
I would have definitely voted for her over Joe Jorgensen. You'd have to be an idiot. Reed, I thought he might be on this call tonight. That sucks he's not, but I want to share this anyway because he put out a he put out a good Substack, and it kind of ties into what Dave was talking about and what we were talking about on the Mises call the other night. This is a quote from Reed. He said, "I would have voted for Rand Paul in 2016 instead of a libertarian. I would have voted for Tulsi Gabbard instead of a libertarian in 2020. And I would have voted for Bruce Fenton in 2022 instead of a libertarian. But here we are. Maybe try to do better in the primaries next time." This is exactly where I'm at, right? Like, you've left us no other choice. So if you give us a decent choice, we will perhaps, if we choose to, whatever state party, whatever leadership decides, we'll back off. You know? If you don't, if you give us a rhino or whatever, somebody awful, we're going to come in and hammer you, and we're going to make it harder for you to get your money, get paid, get elected to office.
And frankly, as somebody who lives in Illinois and is currently under the rule of J.B. Pritzker, who's definitely going to win tonight, I would imagine, the other guy, whose name I don't even remember, the Republican running against him, he's like, yeah, he's better on the stuff. He's definitely not going to win. Or he might win. He wasn't good enough for me to vote for him over Scott Sluter, the Libertarian candidate. Great guy. Maybe not the best speaker, but he's right on all the issues. Him and John Phillips are running, which we all know.
John Phillips, the Libertarian? Like the one that used to be on the LNC? Oh, goodness.
Yep, Scott
He's
Sluter and had John Phillips as his, like, whatever, the person that they run with for governor. But I did vote for Scott, but I'm like, I don't think the Republican's going to win. It's hard for me, though, to not vote Republican when you're living in a blue state that is mostly red, but it has Chicago in it, like where everybody all agrees that people should generally be left alone. I live in a little corn town, and everybody leaves each other alone, but we're basically ruled by Chicago. So it's hard for me living here to not vote Republican, even because like things are really shitty some of the time, and it has nothing to do with our local elected officials. It has to do with the top-down shit. So, yeah, I wouldn't hold it against anybody who voted Republican in that situation either.
So, if I could, I'd like to go back to Blake Masters for a second, if you guys don't mind. Now, I understand the whole context, and when it comes to Mark Victor, that whole thing wasn't good, and I'm not going to stick up for him for that. But really, it seemed like libertarians were the ones that made the biggest deal out of it, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not defending what he said. But my problem with the endorsement of Blake Masters, and yes, he's better than the Democrat, and I much prefer that he wins over the Democrat, is that when we're kind of lording some kind of votes or some kind of power over a candidate, the goal should be to get concessions from them. And My problem with this whole situation was that we got no concessions because you have Blake Masters literally saying there's going to be Chinese people on the shores of California. He said, we will defend our greatest allies, Israel, and he wants to militarize the border. And he's had no political opinions from 2006 to 2019. So there's a 13-year gap there where he didn't have any opinions. And all of a sudden he just shows up on the scene. And then he also has dished libertarians multiple times, saying that it's childish, it doesn't work. So like I said, I prefer him over a Hillary Clinton Democrat. But it just seems like we didn't use our party for what the intended purpose was. Because if we would have gotten to say, hey, let's take this stupid Israel stuff off, China's not going to be over here invading the country, then, I'm all about that. But it literally seems like everybody just kind of used this as a chance to, let's get Blake Masters on my show, let's talk to him, and then that's it. And Dave pushed back a little bit on the China stuff, but not to a satisfactory degree. And even Dan McAdams, after they endorsed him, Dan McAdams said, Blake, you're great, but you have to drop your neocon foreign policy. China isn't an enemy. So, like I said, I much prefer that he wins, but that's just the little nuance that I see and where I feel like the leadership failed was getting any kind of concessions. They just kind of, threw Mark Victor to the wind somewhat reasonably, and we got nothing in return. And we'll never get anything in return for that because, like I said, we just gave it up without really, making work for it. And I'm not saying that, I don't know what I would have in that position, but that's just kind of where I see it.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Could I hit that, Dave, before we move on? I'm sorry, I just got caught up doing something, but I like this topic, so here.
Yeah, buddy.
So the Masters thing, so like all that stuff I agree with if this was planned for. And it's super easy, like when we're talking about this issue, to think of it as something that Dave here. Sorry, back into the left.
This is not a great intro.
To think about this as something that was like planned within the MC or the LP, but it was not. It was Dave speaking as an individual. And, he is still just a dude. And Dave, for the most part, while he is a public figure, is not yet that kind of polished person that always thinks about all the things that he says like a politician. He's just going to talk. He's going to say what Dave wants to say. So, like, for me, I agree with all your points. I think that we should. I imagine everybody here has come to the consensus that it is right to wield our power to sway elections and to strategically drop people out. It's smart for us to do that. I change it a little bit when I really don't think that 80% of the libertarian candidates that are running have any business running. But the ones that were there certainly did. But I think that, like, we should have gotten concessions, if this was a thing that we had talked about. But even internally in the MC, this was not something that was planned for. Nobody knew that this was happening. There was significant discord even internally after it happened. Too much, truth be told, because Dave's done a lot for us, and the Mises Caucus, where it is right now, would not even be in the position that it is in without Dave. We could all admit that, right? We're all super awesome, but we're not where we are right now without Dave. So I think some certain degree of shutting the fuck up until he does this a few more times is the right way to handle it, right? Like if he kept this up, if this was like a thing for Dave, if he just constantly kept endorsing Republicans and we didn't get anything out of it, I would be like, oh yeah, well, fuck this guy. I mean, we need to have a talk with Dave. But the number of people that are so entitled to think that Dave owes them anything on the one time he makes a mistake is just
he's not a politician
either.
To me.
Yeah, is insane.
At this point, he's just a guy.
Yeah,
he's idolized for some reason.
I got to be honest with you, dudes, and I just thought, man. The Mises Caucus is so like the tip of the spear. So I figured anybody that ended up in there, certainly as a state organizer, would kind of be on the same page. Amy and Dylan, we were on that call the other night. I'm not going to go into the specifics of it. It was a private call. But I was disappointed, to say the least, by like everybody that had... Dave, for you guys that don't know, Dave came on and talked to all the Mises Caucus organizers the other night on a Zoom call. It was really awesome. I was like... I'm really grateful that he's here just talking about this. And then it quickly went from that to like, oh my God, this is like all these guys are just like shitting on the move like that he made. And I was like, I wasn't going to say anything because but then when nobody was saying like, hey man, that was a good move. Like I finally raised my hand in the chat to like, just speak up because like, let me be clear. This couldn't have worked out any better for libertarians. It's the best possible case scenario. Like if we were left with a Mark Victor campaign where he stayed in after he kind of made that fatal error. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but he made a fatal error. Like, it's literally the only thing we're talking about here is being a communicator. And you made, not only did you, like, you had an opportunity to make the party look better, but you made it look worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Again,
as soon as that went viral, it was over. He stuck around for a week too long after that, in my opinion.
So I know we didn't get too much, like, we didn't get a defend the guard from Blake Masters, or we didn't get somebody in his cabinet, like these things, but I think that's real. Those are possibilities in the future when we're wielding more power. But just the sheer, like, if you're interested in just the needle moving towards liberty, and if you're interested in like a Senate that's so split, it's like, like, I just see that as a real victory. And if I don't know exactly about what happened behind the scenes, and frankly, I don't really care. I know that Mark Victor got an email from Dave that was pretty polite, but like, hey man, you fucked this up. Like,
exactly.
and that's some real shit. That's some G shit. Like, it was cool. And I think that this will work out better for everybody.
Yeah, I agree, and I didn't want to make it seem like I was shitting on Dave, because I definitely wasn't. But and
no,
I hope
not at all,
it didn't come across that way. It was just I did see the people saying how ridiculous it was and saying there was like no difference, and it's like clearly Blake Masters is preferable, and people who are saying that there's no better person in this race, you're just not being objective. You're not sitting in reality. And I do feel for Dave, because it's kind of like he gets held up as the pinnacle for all libertarians no matter what. And that comes with so many straw mans and so much pressure that's just unnecessary and ridiculous. And they expect him to, walk the walk, talk the talk 100% of the time and never make any mistakes. And I don't see anybody that way,
Agreed.
Yeah, it's a weird position that Dave's in too, because he's like he's just getting to that level, right? Where he's starting to become like, and so for him, he's probably never seen himself that way. So I give him a lot of slack on a lot of things. There's things that I disagree with Dave on, even outside of that. But he's a great guy, and we're lucky to have him. Sorry, do your thing, Smotz.
Yeah.
Smotz, you know.
Thank you. Also, that Dave knew the heat that he was going to get from doing it. Like, he didn't do it flippantly, I'm sure, because he knows the position that he's in and the weight that he holds within the party and stuff. Like, for me, like, I trust Dave enough to think, I talked to a couple people behind the scenes to find out about Blake Masters even before all this stuff started coming out. But, like, I don't know. Do you trust the guy or do you not? If you don't trust the guy, then don't put so much, stock into who he's endorsing. Right. And if you do trust the guy, then maybe, give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't just do this because he's a secret neocon or something. Like, he did it for a reason, and the reason is clearly because he knew that Mark Victor wasn't going to win, and this is the best chance that we have. I think it was you, Dave, that said, like, the best outcome possibly of this situation that is possible is Blake Masters winning, because Mark Victor wasn't going to win. He might have taken some votes away from, I know that's the whole whatever trope that we're taking votes away from the Republicans, but in this case, if we have a decent Republican, even a slightly bit decent Republican, it is a baby step in the right direction.
Correct.
And as Nick Starrock would say, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is definitely principle over party. It should always be principle over party every time. The name of the game what is the party doing? Very little. The name of the game is to move the needle. And anybody that thinks the name of the game is to support the Libertarian Party in spite of an opportunity to move the needle is a complete fucking moron, and they need to roll.
This is kind of a new phenomenon, though, right? Where people who are actively participating in a political party to advance the party are like, well, that's not the most important thing. Like, name another party or a caucus in another party that would think like that, right? That is kind of cool, because it's everybody else's party first.
Right. But, it's essentially a coalition for liberty, which is what I think we need.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's weird that that's controversial. But we have a new guest, and we need some intro music. Bring it in. There she is. What's up, Amy?
Where was my intro music? What the hell?
Bro, you came late.
Oh, she came later. What are you talking about?
You're right. She came really, really late. I had time to cue that up. That's what it was.
Hi, guys. It's good to see everyone. And And I was just thinking while you were talking, I hope that libertarians are talking a lot less about Senate campaigns in the near future and a lot more about local winnable races. While this one was seemed like a good trade-off, I hope there was some backroom negotiation. And I get it, and we have to run some ballot access races. But in 23 and 24, guys, let's talk about local races that we can win and get in and actually make change.
Listen, that is a perfect segue into your new gig. And we've actually, tonight, we spent most time talking about these big kind of, megaphone races, like Shane's race and Jeremy Kaufman's race, and then Mark Victor to a certain extent. But yeah, you just took a job with the Mises Caucus as, and I'll probably get the title wrong, but you are like in charge of candidate development, right?
Yeah, in like late August, early September, I took on the role previously held by Whitney Boatwright, and she had done incredible development and groundwork for the project. But I am the candidate support coordinator for the caucus, and I work with an incredible team of volunteers. So we have like 3 groupings. There's a candidate support team, and they work on the vetting and endorsement process. We have a candidate training team. We're standing up. Their first training is November 23rd. Everyone should be there. You can register at runaslibertarian.com to get all the training information. And then we also have a pool of volunteers we built literally in the final weeks of the campaign. Our goal was, we have 65 endorsed candidates. Our goal was to support them as much as possible. So, the way the future looks is not just to do endorsements or financial contributions, but to offer coaching and mentorship, training, graphic design, video creation. Dave, you did some of that for one of our candidates. You're one of our volunteers. We went in as frequently as we could, and we said to candidates, tell us anything you need. If we have the ability to do it, we'll make it happen for you. And so we did a whole lot of that. Also, we have awesome candidates, so that makes it easy.
Yeah, no doubt. That's so you just got started this. Do you have anybody that you want to shout out that like did a particularly fantastic job running a campaign that we should be looking for, looking towards the future for this, or what do you think?
Yeah, so oh my goodness, there's 65 of them. So if they're watching,
Top 3, seriously.
Okay, who am I watching closely tonight?
Name them all.
Is top 3. So I'm watching.
No, however many you want, seriously.
We're watching Robert Ballard running for Mesa County Clerk and Recorder in Colorado. We're watching really closely Jenny Stoker running for Davis County School Board in Florida. I'm so sorry, in Utah. I have a lot of candidates. We're watching Tyler Capel running a state assembly race in Nebraska, and a whole other slew of local candidates, especially where we are focus heavily our time and attention. That I'd say of our 65 candidates, there's plenty that are in winnable races, and I don't know what that's going to look like tonight, but we're going to have some incredible success stories. And the thing that makes that momentous is that they won't just be successes, but we're going to learn from those. We've got a lot of candidate data. We've got a lot of their survey responses. We know who did door knocking and who didn't. We know who did texting and who didn't. We know, who was incredibly engaged in their community before running, right? Like years before, and who wasn't. And so we're able to kind of use those metrics and know in 23 and 24 how to best advise our candidates to move forward in these small local races.
That's exciting. How are you going to run for office if you're doing all this work?
Yeah, it's an excellent question. I will develop my candidate support plan while we're delivering the candidate training team, and that's comprised of people like Mark Bozzacco, Kelly Carden, Kate Dinda, people who have been elected to office or who are seasoned campaigners. So a little shout out to those folks as well who are building our training program. I'll write my candidate strategic plan while I'm attending their training.
That's awesome. That's really very exciting.
This is all the start of something that's really interesting and happening at a perfect time for libertarian candidates to be stepping in. I know people talk about it a lot, post-COVID and sentiment and things, but polling seems to reflect that is in fact the case. We can kind of view ourselves in the relationship between the general public and their polling between the right and the left. And as it stands right now, we got exit polls that are coming out that show that the only topic that Democrats seem to be beating Republicans on right now is abortion. There's
Yeah.
nothing beyond that, which means that for almost everything else, with the exception of this hot button issue, people are leaning on that right side. And where we find ourselves right now, because of the kind of philosophical shift that has occurred within both parties, is that the Republican Party, at least at the individual person level, right, what they think they believe, not necessarily what the politicians enact, but at least at the individual person level, the Republican Party is more closely aligned with the Libertarian Party, at least in the things that we talk about, not what they do. They're all dirtbags. But we can view ourselves in that a little bit, and we can see that sentiment has shifted, post-COVID sentiment, and you know that that's the case, and the people that you talk to in your average life have just been through a lot. And so for the Mises Caucus to be standing something up right now that allows an infrastructure for a large number of people to be running for office when they otherwise might not have really had a way of knowing how to do it, maybe did not have the support and didn't have a team behind them, at the very same time that there are so many people that are disaffected from their parties, is a huge deal. It's definitely not the most important election of our lifetime because this is going to be a thing that takes a long time. It's not happening for us this year, but it will happen for us over the next several years. Things are changing. Things are changing for the better. And it's like a white pill thing. And we need to recognize that this is a good time. And things get worse before they get better. And I think we can all agree we've been in that worse phase for a while now. And now it's time for the pendulum to swing.
It is a white pill, dude. I'm excited. We've only, just took over the party 6 months ago. All the good things have happened since then. Real quick, though, last minute addition to the party. That's right.
There it is.
Oh, what's up, Reed?
Hey, sorry I'm late. I kind of got distracted by winning this election here with Jeremy Kauffman, so thanks for having me on, guys.
What's going on? We got Reed Coverdale live on the scene. What's happening in New Hampshire, bro?
Oh, well, Jeremy's getting his victory speech ready, and we're ready for Maggie Hassan and Don Baldock to come apologize to us and say, hey, sorry for running against you. You're obviously the best choice, and, everything's looking up, so we're doing good.
Everything's coming up aces.
Is Don Baldock gonna backpedal his allegations of assault?
Well, he is known for kind of flip-flopping on literally everything. So if he just suddenly is like, "Yeah, I wasn't assaulted at all. This is all bullshit."
He likes
what are you
war,
talking about? I never
so
said
maybe
that.
he likes aggression. So
he does seem to be a fan in general. I got to say, from some clips I've seen of him. But you can play that clip to his supporters, like 200 of them, like 20 times in a row, and they'll still deny that it's true. So I don't know what type of reality we're dealing with here.
It seemed a little tampered with.
Yes.
Reed, you guys have been crushing it up there. I love watching the footage. I love the vibe that you guys have together. You out there with the megaphone the other night was great. Catching the footage of that guy in a lot. Like I saw some mainstream, talk ahead was like, assholes cost him like 2 percentage points. Like they're really freaking out about you guys, man. And that's, as I've talked about your Substack on the show tonight and a couple weeks ago, because they've been really on point. I love the one about, I can't remember. What was the one about leveraging Republicans? And then tonight we talked about the one that you said about, just do better or else you're not entitled to our vote. So it's really cool, man. You guys are really crushing it. What's the spirit like? You feeling good? I know, I know it's like being out in the streets, but yeah. How's it feeling?
It's not that we want the Democrats to have the seat, but the thing is, neither party is entitled to our votes, but the Republicans are the ones who think they're entitled to our votes. So you know how in 2016, even though Gary Johnson got 3 or 4 times as many votes as Jill Stein, the Democrats didn't blame Gary Johnson for, Hillary losing the election. They blamed Jill Stein because the Democrats and the Green Party tend to have more in common with each other. So the Republicans will blame the Libertarians if they lose. The thing is, if you want Libertarians to vote for Republicans, you got to be liberty-leaning as a Republican. And so for me, if a shitty Republican loses to a shitty Democrat, it gives us more leverage to say, hey, guys, if you want our support, you can't keep doing this. Because New Hampshire, Governor Sununu, who's a Republican, he's going to win tonight by 20 points. and both the House and Senate are controlled by Republicans, on a local level. I voted for a lot of Republicans tonight on the local level, but I didn't vote for, federal offices where the where the Republican sucks, or is a warmonger or a drug warrior or whatever. Like, I'll vote for Republicans where there's enough crossover. So hopefully if they lose tonight, they'll, a message will be sent to them. Look, guys, you're not going to get our support unless you start catering to us on some of this stuff, where I'm not even trying to reach out to the Democrats here in New Hampshire. Like, if Baldock wins tonight, the Democrats are not going to blame us for throwing the election to him, because they were never trying to get our votes in the first place. So
right.
It's kind of like how Jimmy Dore is always criticizing the Democrats. He doesn't talk about the Republicans as much because they're not his people. He gets a lot of, he gets along with a lot of people on the left, and he's coming from that angle. I come more from the right. So it's going to be right-wingers, Republicans, people like that are the ones who are actually going to care what I think or care how I vote. So those are the people that have to get better if they want to earn my support. The Democrats are just so far from representing me, unless there's like a real fluke incident like Tulsi in 2020 or something like that. They're never going to get my support anyway. So Republicans, if they want our votes, they just got to get better.
They got to get better, man, and they got to get better on the main thing, which is war and peace. You're dead on when you say that, dude, because that really is the North Star, man. That's why I'm a libertarian. That's the one thing that you just have to do that. And that's why it was the right thing to do to be for Tulsi. And as you said, if she would have got the nod, you would have voted for her over Joe, because that would have been the smart thing to do. If anti-war is at the forefront, that's what you needed to do, man. So, we were talking a little bit about Dave Smith tonight and just the direction of the party, and the utility of the party needs to be geared towards liberty and not winning elections right now, right? Just as a general theme. It's weird we're still having that discussion a little bit, but that's absolutely the way. Go where the liberty goes, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can just stare at our belly buttons and talk about how pure we are and like never get anywhere, or we can actually supply leverage to the situation. So like, we have been tweeting at Republicans for the last couple of days, like, if you guys had, voted for Bruce Fenton and he were your nominee, we would all be voting Republican today. And some of the like libertarian extremists who never vote outside the Libertarian Party, they get upset about it. And like, okay, you can go fuck yourselves, because we're, we might get 2-3%, 4 or 5, something like that. But that doesn't really matter. What matters is if you can actually change the direction of, the political atmosphere. And if we can make the Republicans realize they got to cater to us if they want to win, then that actually changes the outcome of elections. And also the other thing is, if we get 4% tonight, we can run fusion candidates, which is both Libertarian and Republican, or in a rare case, if there was a Libertarian and a Democrat, they could run on the same line, and the LP could actually tell people to vote for that candidate. They could actually officially endorse them. They could actually send them money. Right now, we can't do that. So like Bruce Fenton, even though I voted for him in the primary, the Libertarian Party in New Hampshire and the National Libertarian Party couldn't officially endorse him, officially say, go vote for this guy. That could change if we get that status. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I'm praying for that, man. I would love to see it. And, we were talking about Jeremy's campaign earlier tonight, but yeah, it's pretty unparalleled, man. He and Shane are pretty much the standard bearers, the way I see it.
Reed, why wasn't I invited to the election night party for the Jeremy Kauffman campaign?
Sorry, who are you again?
Comedy's all about timing. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I made you, motherfucker.
Yeah, by the way, if you guys don't know this backstory, I forget what episode number it is, but I had Dan on my show explain how I am his fault. So if I ever do anything that pisses you guys off, like crazy tweets from the New Hampshire account or whatever, like, just remember it all goes back to Dan Smotz. Without him,
I'm the Shadow Reed as
Coverdale.
Well. Yes. Yep.
All right, guys. That's pretty much going to do it for me. On 3, should we get a Mosh 2024 really quick? 1, 2, 3. Mosh. I'm just
So is this where I give my
Terrible.
plugs and
Horrible.
bail out just like I do on Tower Gang? Like I feel like I timed this pretty well.
This is exactly how you do it, bro. Yeah, why don't we start with you, Reed? Tell us where everybody can find your stuff.
Oh, well, yeah, since you ask. Yeah, my name is Reed Coverdale, and I have the Naturalist Capitalist podcast. And if you search either of those things, I'm the only one of both. And thanks to Dan Smotz, I'm now a thing. So you can find me.
Also, Reed, why did you remember to come on tonight?
I got an anonymous text from some nobody who said, "Hey, don't forget about that podcast you're supposed to be on tonight." And
yeah, something like that.
I never would have forgotten, but
better late than never, bro. I appreciate you being here, and I know you're real busy, so thank you.
Yeah, of course, man.
Party on.
Dan, what's up with you, man? Tell everybody where they can find the shadow government.
You can find me on thesystemisdown.tv. It exists on the internet. Or you can go to the Twits and find me at TSIDpod, or all the links to all the other things at thesystemisdown.tv. And thanks for having me, Dave. This has been fun.
It was fun, man. I always appreciate hanging out with you.
For sure.
Your show's fantastic. I tell everybody about it. And yeah, we'll do this again soon, bro.
Same.
Amy, Dylan, tell us where we can find your stuff.
Yeah, so archetypal dork on Twitter, but I don't care about any of that. What I need people to know is that it's time to start to consider running for local office or managing local campaigns next year.
Such
for
a politician.
Training, for support, so that you know we're ready to help you stand up your campaign. Register at runaslibertarian.com, and you'll start to receive those communications from us, and we can start to talk about what your campaign's going to look like.
I'm excited about that. I want to find Delaware's Jeremy Kaufman and piss some people off. That's really what I'm excited about.
Let me know when you find him.
I mean, you know that's you, right, Dave? Yeah.
Well, we might. All right,
Dave, run for office. I'll make your videos.
Unfortunately, I don't
Dan,
have
we're
the
gonna
height.
get even more of a
discount
I'm
than
not
Jeremy
tall
Kaufman
enough to
does.
be in politics. That's the
This
problem.
just completely turned around on Dave in a way he was hoping.
We're gonna give you platform shoes. It will be fine.
That'll work out. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we're gonna have to do something.
Dave, I can
no
get
matter
the
what.
lower angles, make you look real tall. It'd be great. It'd be
I
like
was just
Gandalf.
all right. If you can do that, I'm already sold. I can be a giant man with a jawline like this, and we got to get some khakis,
The goiter.
sweater vests, all the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the real
Give
guys.
you
do.
nice artificial goiter on the back of your neck. That seems to work.
Yeah. That thing is something else, bro.
It controls him. That's really
Jesus
what's running
Christ!
the show.
Pull your hoodie up, you crazy bastard! Damn it. Dylan, what about you, man? I know they can find you on LP of Delaware, where you're racking up millions of views for us.
Right. CIA.gov.
We're creeping up on 1,000 follows today. We're about 50 short. So if you want to go in and follow the Libertarian Party of Delaware, we will have gained 1,000 followers in one day, which is not usually a huge deal for many accounts. I'm sure lots of the bigger accounts do better than that, but it's a big deal for us because that's 1/7 of our followers. So that would be nice to be able to pull in one day.
Where are you right now? Exactly.
Where am I right now?
Like 6,500.
No, we're a little bit more than that. Give me just 1 second.
Anyway,
guys,
for an
I'm
account
sorry.
that was
We're,
started last year and shut down for the bulk of it.
We're
Yeah.
67. We're 6711. So I need about 60 more people to have gotten 1,000 in a 24-hour period, which would be nice. You can find me at Living Dad Joke, but don't worry about following me. I run the Libertarian Party of Delaware Twitter account. Go follow that Twitter account. Retweet its stuff. I try to keep some cool stuff out there, interesting, grabby, visceral stuff. Make it a little bit more interesting than some of the political things that you might be tired of seeing coming out of affiliates. We've learned a lot from New Hampshire. Reed's gone, but we just take a little bit of a different tact. Instead, I try to piss the cops off instead of other libertarians.
Yeah, you do a great job with that, man. And yeah, unprecedented growth. I think, you're being a little modest, but if we can keep you on for like another year, bro, look out New Hampshire, dude. Look
I'm
out.
gonna get you guys to 10,000, and then
And then you're gonna peace out on us.
I think so. Yeah. So hopefully I'll move on to bigger and better things. That's kind of my goal. Where I
GOP.
can kind of help. Yeah, that's it. So the CIA podcast definitely their Twitter game's lacking. So they were looking for somebody to maybe come on and help get a little bit more. They've gotten bad views on CIA pod. So Side Pod and CIA pod. I was going to say if you wanted to maybe get together.
You look like a Fed.
Yeah, show them that fade, bro. They will let you in. That's
good.
It is on point.
Any doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if you guys need some ads, hit me up. I'm a whore. I'm not cheap, but I'm a whore.
No, go follow Libertarian Party of Delaware. We've got cool stuff. I've got some feelers out to some other things, so hopefully when I get us up to 10K. And it was supposed to be getting to 10,000 so we could get verified, but now we got $8 verification coming up here pretty soon. So the verification for the everyman. We don't need 10K for it anymore.
I am ready to spend my $8. I can't wait to see all the perks and privileges that come with it.
We got to get 10,000 so we can run ads anyway, because we're banned from running ads until we reach major account status, which is actually a thing on Twitter. That's interesting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's been real. The most important election of our lifetime. Does it feel like Christmas night to you a little bit? Like when you wake up, the world will be different?
I can't wait to unwrap whatever comes after democracy. Yes.
It looks like Rand Paul's winning his election, is what it looks like. So
yeah, well, of course. Of course, he's going to win that election. He's the best we got, right?
He's good.
He's good. We got one more comment from the murder beam. What
Rand
did
is
he say?
good. Rand's okay, but I don't mean to open a can of worms before.
He's the best we got, right? In the Senate,
but it's like
no. Just say he's the number.
We
say
got
he's the
opposed to Fetterman. Like the bar is set so damn low that it's like, yeah, he's the best we got, and it's real. The bar was set before that with Ron Paul, which was like light years above. So it's like, yeah, great, Rand. I put him at DeSantis level. Good job,
man.
Oh, he's better than.
He's better than DeSantis for sure.
Yeah,
he definitely
right.
Is.
Better
he's
than
good on
DeSantis.
COVID.
Yeah. Oh, part 2, Smotz.
Oh, it's coming back.
The post democracy. We're going to talk about that.
You want to go over to the Downers Club after this, Dave?
Yeah, right.
Party going.
I do. Oh man, if I got to get people to pay for my first show first, and then I'll get them to pay for the after show. I'm years away from that though, unfortunately.
We can jump over to my stream, and then I'll give you $5, and then I'll cover your. I mean, that's like 50% of what I get from that. So.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
It's been real.
Night, guys.
Good night. Peace. Guys, the most important election of our lifetime. I can't wait till it's over. And then get on to some real shit like Dave Smith 2024. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited about it. Anyway, see you guys next time. Thanks for everything. Peace.